My name is Linda Clark. I am an associate teaching professor, and I am also the director of our online data science governance policy and society master's program. I started out at Penn State University and got my PhD in higher education. I am a social scientist by training who always loved the statistical pieces of things. But when I came to Brown, I knew how to code in statistical packages, but I didn't know Python when I came. And so I was a social scientist, statistician who morphed into data science, and just really found the two actually come together really nicely. And it's an interesting perspective compared to maybe some folks who come into data sciences from some of the more physical sciences or from computer science. It's such a critical area right now. There's a lot of people that are really scared of data science and AI. And given the recent really pivot of DSI more to the socio-technical issues around fairness and bias and policy with the launching of the center, it seemed like that was a niche that hadn't been filled. So we felt like we could leverage the expertise and the reputation that we were building around fairness, bias, policy, governance, and get into an online space that really hadn't been tapped yet. So that was the idea behind it. And then, I really drew on my background in curriculum in thinking about this from an interdisciplinary perspective. How do we get people sort of thinking about how do we regulate it? How do we govern it? How do we use it for social good, as opposed to being scared of it or banning it altogether? How do we sort of change that mindset for people doing this on a day-to-day basis? So we've been able to really deliberately build a pretty unique curriculum where it's not just tech, it's not just policy, it's literally the two. I think it brings a connectivity to the courses that we don't usually have the time or, again, the structure, the infrastructure to be able to do that. So the data science fellows are undergrads who are doing projects one-on-one with faculty to support curriculum development, teaching, learning. It's not about them developing modules that they go in and teach. It's literally about them developing content for classes. In that course, we talk about what is it like to work in a client-consultant relationship or be working on a team in an industry project, whatever that may be. So we talk a lot about finding your voice in that relationship, not just being a student who is passively taking instruction, but really being a collaborator. And then the other leg of that course is really, we do talk about teaching and learning in that class because, again, all of these are curricular-facing projects. So I think it's a really great experience for technically facing students to stop and really think about sort of translating. I've always sort of had a niche in teaching technical content to non-technical people. I think one of the most rewarding things is when a student sort of has what I call an aha moment. When students are like, oh, I get it, or they see it, or they're like, no, now I can be a coder, now I can do this kind of work, and really helping. And I think the fellows is like that, but it's not the technical, it's these other sort of self-growth things. And watching students kind of have those moments, I think is really, really kind of fun.